All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for some additional media availabilities here this afternoon at Bristol Motor Speedway. And we've now been joined by a driver of the number 37 Busch's Grill and Beans Chevrolet, Chris Buescher, and team owner Tad Geschickter. And Tad, I will officially turn the microphone over to you for some news this afternoon.
Yeah, it's exciting to be here at Bristol. It's the home market for one of our longest running sponsors, Busch's Beans, and Kenna and TC are here if anyone has any questions for them. 15 years sponsoring our team. It's a home to a lot of Kroger stores that have the great click list service, and it's where Jody and I, Jody's in the back there, enjoyed our first NASCAR win way back in 1996. So it's a special place to us, and we have a special announcement. We've been able to work through contractual stuff and get Chris signed up for multi-years to continue to drive for us at JTG Doherty Racing. And we couldn't be more happy about that. As I think about Chris, there are three things that led to the decision. It's trust, it's the talent, and it's his tenacity. So if you look at the person he is, he's humble, he's kind. But I think the word that gets used by our sponsors the most and by the fans and all of you who meet him is he's sincere. I think that's a great quality for us and for the sponsors that are on our car. If you look at him at 24, and I remember 24 long ago, how far he's come just through determination and hard work. He's got an ARCA championship. He's got Xfinity championship. And just in a short time with us, he's become a top fixture in the top 20 in the running order. And he just keeps getting better every week. We're just still learning. And probably last but not least is tenacity. This guy is in the shop more than any other driver we've ever worked with. He stays in the hall. He looks at his throttle traces, his dart fish. He's always talking with his team about how he can make his car as competitive as possible each week, and he's just a great leader. So I'm excited that we're going to work together for a long time to come, and I'm excited to see where we can take the 37 together.
Yeah, absolutely. So really excited to be able to get everything worked out, to be able to drive for JTG Doherty Racing for the next handful of years. So we've been able to make a lot of progress this season, and everyone knows how hard it is to fire off at the beginning of the year with everything being completely new, and not only just new to me, but adding a second team is a pretty major undertaking. So to be able to get everything in place as smoothly as we've been able to, and be able to get the results that we have this soon in the season, I think has been a really great thing. And for me, that continuity at the end of the season is excellent. It's something that I haven't had for a little bit, and to be able to build off of something that you worked an entire year trying to get up and get ready to go, that's nice to be able to carry over that into 2018 and seasons beyond. So really looking forward to next season. Really neat to be driving the new Chevy Camaro ZL1. Looks like a pretty excellent body that it came out with, and cool to see Camaro back in NASCAR at the Cup Series. So lots of good things coming. We're really happy that we could make this announcement and get everything worked out, and just I've had a blast over here with everybody. So Tad and Jody, thank you, and Gordon and Brad, who I've only gotten to talk to a handful of times at this point, but just want to say thank you to all of them for allowing me the opportunity to be able to come out here and be competitive in these races. And couldn't think of a better place than Bristol to make the announcement. My favorite track, right there with Darlington. It's kind of a toss up, but seemed to get a little bit more speed out of this place. Practice just went really good for our Busch's Grill and Beans Chevrolet. So really excited about qualifying this evening, and looking forward to the race tomorrow night.
We'll go ahead and take questions for Tad or Chris. If you have one, please raise your hand, say your name and affiliation. I'll do my best to get everyone in. Let's start over here with Lee, and then Tad, if you want to pull up that microphone right there. Thank you.
Lee Spencer, motorsport.com. Come on, Jody had the most to do with this. We know that. But anyway, what are you going to do about charters for next season? Because I believe you all had a charter from Roush, and it's a one-year lease. Have you figured out what your charter plans are for 2018? Thank you.
Yes, we have an owner's agreement to purchase a charter, and that paperwork's going to be submitted to NASCAR this week, and hopefully it gets all signed and approved. So more to come on that, but we've got a plan on that, and it's well down the road.
All right. I believe Bob here had a question up front.
Bob Parker, ESPN. Ted, are you going to continue your relationship with RCR?
We still have several years left on our agreement with RCR, and we want to continue to get better together with them, and we continue to work hard every day to do that. Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Mark Darrow, PRN. Ted, can you talk about the difficulties of the financial picture that team owners are having to deal with now, and how out of whack is maybe revenue and cost, or is it
I think
that far out of whack?
That's a great question. In 08, we were working together with the Wood Brothers, and we had 5 teams and 240 employees. And, in that economic downturn, we went through the pain of having to find jobs for a lot of different people and downsizing. So, Mark, I think we've been really choiceful in how we've grown from there. I don't want to over-egg the omelet or grow too fast. So I think in our case, we've always played money ball and tried to play within our means and pick the right places to spend the money. So I think that the economic picture for our team has just gotten better. It may be that the rest of the field who was at bigger numbers is coming back to us, but I think the competitive balance is going to come back to us, and we feel good about where we are on sponsorship.
How do you feel overall about the cost income ratios going on and stuff right now?
I think that they continue to look at ways to cut the costs. Cutting back some tires this year certainly was a help to us. But I will say that what we spend today versus what we spent 10 years ago, it's crazy to look at it. We keep working along, and before you know it, we've got the sponsorship to do it. But certainly I think NASCAR is serious about it, and the Team Owner Council is serious about continuing to find ways to cut back on that any way we can as quickly as we can.
All right, go ahead.
David Swoba, the ESPN Radio Albuquerque, over here, Chris. Chris, question for you. Sixth in the final practice there. What in your driving style lends you to such success at this track?
I wish I knew, because I'd take it to a lot of other tracks. But this is a place that I've always just loved. I've loved watching races here as a kid. We got to run a Legends car race here one time on the apron. We actually used pit road and then the aprons in the corners. And I remember thinking how cool it was just to be able to race at Bristol that day. And then, as we've looked at the Xfinity Series, I never did any truck racing, but the Xfinity Series and then even Cup, we've had some extremely good runs here. Still a haunting finish for me, running out of gas leading this thing a few years ago on the Xfinity side. It's I wish I could tell you. It's something that kind of brings me back to a Salem or a Winchester, where we ran so many races in ARCA. Right up against the fence, which I know that's obviously evolving here constantly, but trying to run that top side, it's a lot of throttle time. It's just it's crazy. It's amazing how quick paced it is, and how quickly a lap goes by and how much goes on. I wish I could tell you. I love it. I really do. I love coming to Bristol. I think that helps a lot. It's about the same as road races. I don't have a road racing background, but we seem to run pretty good at them, because it's something that these guys have worked really hard with with AJ, and been able to bounce a lot of things off of him to improve that this season. But also I enjoy doing it, and I think it helps. Turning right? I hope not. With the traction compound on the bottom, I think last fall was the first time it was done correct, and I thought that was really good. I think that it gave us a track that was not just top dependent. It gave us a passing lane. Not really a bottom dependent track, but a place where we could move around to get around lap cars, or if you were really better than somebody in front of you, you could set them up, try and pin them behind a slower car up on the top, and be able to use the bottom. And I think it's evolved from there. I think it was really wide at the spring race here earlier this season, and I think where it's at now is much closer to where it was in the fall, and I certainly like it better. I think from the driver's standpoint, most have been on board with it. I think we like the idea of it. I think it's gave us a passing lane, and practice is going to be bottom feeder racetrack, just because of how new the compound is and how it takes rubber. But it does wear off, and we saw it there late in practice. We're able to start using that top now and run lap times that are within a tenth or two versus half a second or 3/4 of a second that it was in the first practice.
All right, we have a question from Kelly, Woody, and then Reed. So we'll go to Kelly. There you go. Thank you.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. For Tad, one for Chris. Tad, is the goal to keep Chris, Trent, and that whole team together going into next year? Will anything change there?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we were able to sign Trent's extension concurrent with Chris's this week as well. So they've really come together nicely. So we're excited to see where they take it together.
And Chris, you've gone from Roush and Xfinity to Front Row, now to JTG. To hear that you now have a multi-year deal, it's got to feel good to have some stability for a little bit going forward.
Yeah, you could you can definitely say that. The fact that we're sitting here today to say that we have many years going forward and know we're going to be. We got Trent leading the team. That's pretty amazing. It's nice to have that comfort through the off season, something that has been hard to have, and especially with the way the world is today and how hard it is to get that feeling here. I'm very, very thankful for this opportunity. I've had a really good time this season. We've been able to make some awesome improvements, and again, coming back to that continuity from one season to the next. I haven't had that since way back in the Xfinity days. So knowing that we have the same group and we have notes and we have race cars that we've run, that's going to be a really big help, and I look for that to be a big step in getting better results early in 2018.
All right, we're going to go to Woody, then Reed, then Claire. Go ahead, Woody.
Woody came with MRN. Chris, a lot of guys look for a way to find another race when you get an off weekend. Are you a guy who has that itch, or are you a kind of protect my time and get away from it all for a little while?
He's getting married in April. That's going away.
I am getting married, and I'm very much looking forward to that. For our off weekends, we kind of get away for right now. I have told Tad that I very, very much want to run Eldora in the truck next season, and if he could put a truck together, that would save me a lot of hassle, but I don't think he's gone for it yet. So I will be looking to try and do, with Tad and Jody's blessing, obviously, trying to do a little bit of extracurricular racing next season as things settle down a little bit. I think that's prevented me from doing a lot of that over the last couple seasons. It's just so many variables, so many unknowns. Just trying to make sure that we're in the right place and we're not trying to step on anyone's toes. So now looking forward, I feel like I can lean on Tad a little bit and try and go look at some races on the outside of just the Cup Series.
All right, Reed, go ahead.
Is that okay?
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Chris, with this being a multi-year deal, are you out of the Roush contract now, or is that still in force?
Yeah, so this is a multi-year deal for us to be able to go racing for JTG exclusively. Again, that's a pretty excellent feeling to know that we have something in place going forward to be able to come back each and every season and start from where we left off. For us to be able to say that we have a home, and as long as Tad will have me, we'll be driving here.
All right, Claire, go ahead.
Claire Beeline, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. So does that mean you're not aligned with Roush, that your new alignment now is strictly with this team?
Yeah, so for these years coming up, yes.
Okay.
This is where we're going to be. This is home. This is a way for us to gain that continuity. And, I've really appreciate everything on the Roush Fenway side and what they've done for you through the years. And I've had a lot of fun racing over there. For simplicity's sake and going forward, while everything goes through, this time where everything restructures and gets back in line, this is our way to be able to say that we know what we're doing each and every year.
I've always felt that you are a really good race car driver who's flown under the radar just a bit. Do you feel like this gives you a platform now, and that you didn't mind sort of starting out there and being kind of under the radar?
Yeah, and I never did coming up. I mean, that was always okay with me, but I've really appreciated the years that I've had to learn without a microscope. We've been able to make mistakes and learn from them and be better each and every time we come to the racetrack. So for me, I think that this season has been one where we've steadily improved, and over the last handful of weeks, we've had some really good runs. Really, since Martinsville, we've had some really good runs on and off. So, for us, that's excellent to be able to get our partners in the limelight and be able to work forward and build the brand with them. I think it's been an excellent opportunity, and now with this, I think we might even get the graphic when they display every car number across the top of the screen. Ours will actually have one because it's the same one it was the last couple of weeks. So, just little things like that. It's nice to know that it's going to be smoothed out and going forward.
All right, Chris, before we let you leave, when we were here in April, we had some rain showers, and you jumped out and helped several of the fans here in different situations when the water was rising on the pond. Have you happened to reconnect with any of those that you helped pull out of those waters in April?
I need to I need to get back on social media because I did have one of the gentlemen that him and his wife were camping, and they did get a hold of me after that race, and they said they go to quite a few races, so that was really neat, and I had a good time doing that. I hated to see unfortunate circumstances, and really glad that we won't have to deal with that this weekend. For the record, it was Tad and Jody's truck that was in the mud, so I didn't tell him that until after. I think he knows that, but I got it cleaned up, so it's all good now. But yeah, it was. We're going to play in the mud all next week anyway on our off weekend, so might as well try and help out and have some fun while we're doing it.
All right. Well, congratulations, guys, on the news. Best of luck this weekend here at Bristol.
Thank you.